Under the silent gaze of the moon, the king's apple tree stands radiant, its golden apples shimmering like celestial jewels. In the shadows, the gardener, a hunched figure, counts the precious apples, his lips moving in a silent, anxious prayer. Each golden fruit gleams, a tempting treasure under the watchful eyes of the night. An unseen tension hangs in the air, heavy and thick as the intoxicating perfume of night-blooming jasmine. The garden holds its breath, anticipating an unknown threat to the king's prized possession. Inside the opulent royal palace, sunlight streams through grand windows, illuminating the tense encounter. The gardener bows low before the king, his weathered face a mask of worry and fear. An apple is missing, the gardener blurts, his voice trembling slightly in the regal atmosphere. The king rises from his throne, his royal countenance hardening with regal fury. "The thief will not be spared," the king declares, his voice echoing with unwavering authority. Under a canopy of stars, the gardener's eldest son stands guard, spear in hand, a silent sentinel in the royal garden. Hours crawl by, each moment stretching into an eternity as the weight of duty presses down on the young man. He fights off a yawn, the battle against sleep, a losing one as his eyelids flutter, heavy with exhaustion. His resolve wavers, the spear dipping slightly as his weary mind succumbs to the embrace of slumber. In the quiet of the night, his head droops forward, leaving the garden unguarded under the watchful stars. Inside the grand royal palace, the king's fist crashes against the table, the sound echoing through the hall. Servants recoil as the king's rage fills the air, his face a mask of fury. "Another apple gone," the king bellows, his voice shaking the very foundations of the palace. The king's eyes blaze with fury, focusing on his target. "The eldest son is dismissed in disgrace," echoes through the palace, sealing the young man's fate. Under the cloak of night, the gardener's second son treads the gravel paths, his footsteps the only sound in the silent royal garden. He scans the shadows with a dutiful gaze, ensuring the garden's safety, his silhouette stark against the moonlit foliage. A yawn escapes his lips as fatigue begins to weigh heavily on him. He rubs his eyes, a visible struggle to maintain his vigil, the darkness seeming to conspire against him. His weary form betrays the battle against sleep, a lone figure succumbing to the quiet allure of the night. Inside the opulent hall, echoes amplify the king's fury, his face a mask of mounting rage. The king's eyes blaze with anger, the scene filled with tension. "This incompetence will not be tolerated," roars the king, his voice shaking the very foundations of the palace. The king's words hang heavy in the air, a threat to all who dare defy him. His anger is a palpable force, filling the opulent hall with a sense of dread. The king's rage is a storm, threatening to consume everything in its path. Under the cloak of night, the royal garden is cast in shadow, a silent stage for secrets. The gardener's youngest son stands vigilant, his silhouette a stark contrast against the garden's gloom. Determination hardens his features as he scans the darkness, every rustle and whisper amplified in the stillness. His voice cuts through the night, a challenge thrown to the unseen. "Come on, apple thief, show yourself." The garden holds its breath, awaiting the answer to his bold call, the air thick with anticipation. Beneath the cloak of night, a golden bird descends, its eyes set on a ripe apple. Hidden among the leaves, the youngest son raises his bow, determination etched on his face. The arrow flies, a streak of defiance against the encroaching darkness. Her golden feather falls as the bird escapes, vanishing into the starlit expanse. Inside the opulent royal palace, King examines a golden feather, its metallic sheen catching the light. He turns the feather, the silence amplifying his growing dissatisfaction. A declaration of greed hangs in the air as the king's desire intensifies. "One feather is of no use to me." The king's eyes harden with resolve. "I must have the whole bird." Sunlight filters through the dense canopy as the eldest son walks deeper into the silent, watchful woods. A fox emerges, its intelligent eyes locking onto the eldest son, a challenge in its gaze. "Choose the shabby inn," the fox declares, its voice a low, cunning murmur. The eldest son scoffs, dismissing the fox's advice with disdain. "I think not." In the warm glow of the pleasant inn, the eldest son revels at a table overflowing with food and drink. Laughter erupts from him, as he is completely consumed by the inn's festive atmosphere. The air is thick with cheer, a stark contrast to the quest he once pursued. Each hearty laugh echoes through the room, bouncing off the wooden beams and merry faces. His eyes sparkle with mirth, reflecting the candlelight and the intoxicating spirit of the celebration. For this night, at least, his grand quest is a distant memory, lost in the joy of the present. Sunlight filters through the canopy as the second son strides purposefully into the dense woods, his path resolute. A sly fox emerges from the shadows, its eyes gleaming with uncanny intelligence, watching the second son intently. The second son pauses, a flicker of curiosity in his eyes as the fox steps forward, offering cryptic counsel. He nods slowly, a semblance of understanding on his face as he absorbs the fox's words, his decision made. With renewed resolve, the second son continues his journey, the fox's warning echoing in the silent woods. Unseen consequences loom as the second son unknowingly repeats the same fateful error, his destiny sealed in the dappled sunlight. Flickering candlelight paints shadows on the inn's rough walls. Second son enters, his face a canvas of relief and apprehension. He scans the room, the weight of his mission heavy on his shoulders. His eyes lock onto his brother, a beacon in the dimly lit space. Each step closer sheds the burden he carries. A glimmer of hope flickers in his weary eyes. Sunlight filters through the dense canopy as the youngest son journeys deeper into the ancient woods. He halts, his eyes widening as he encounters a fox amidst the trees, an unexpected audience in the wilderness. The son kneels, his posture respectful, as he listens to the fox's hushed, sage-like counsel. A moment of understanding passes between them, a silent acknowledgement of shared wisdom. "Thank you, old wise fox," the youngest son says, his voice soft with gratitude and newfound knowledge. Night shrouds a shabby inn, its worn facade telling tales of weary travelers and forgotten dreams. Inside the humble inn, the youngest son finds a moment of respite, his silhouette framed by the dim light. The quiet interior offers a stark contrast to the unknown challenges lurking outside. Peaceful for now, the inn holds secrets, and the son's journey is far from over. A moment of calm before the storm, the inn's walls whisper promises of safety. However fleeting, the youngest son approaches the imposing castle. The fox, a loyal shadow at his heels. Sunlight catches a gilded birdcage near the entrance, a symbol of opulent captivity. He stops, a flicker of temptation briefly clouding his resolve. His gaze lingers on the cage, a silent battle between desire and duty. A deep breath steels his resolve. He turns away from the glittering distraction. With renewed purpose, the youngest son steps into the castle's shadow, leaving temptation behind. Torches flicker, casting dancing shadows on the dungeon's damp stone, where secrets and despair cling to the walls. Chained and bruised, the youngest son's defiant eyes blaze against the dungeon's gloom. The king stands before his son, his face a frozen mask of fury, promising pain and regret. Guards flank the king, their halberds gleaming, symbols of power and impending doom. "Bring me the golden horse." The king's command echoes, a chilling demand in the stone chamber. The dungeon air hangs heavy, anticipation and dread mingling as the son meets his father's gaze. The youngest son, led by the fox, beholds the castle, its ancient stones bathed in the golden light of day. Before him stands the golden horse, its coat shimmering, a beacon of hope and challenge. He approaches cautiously, drawn by the horse's magnetic allure, each step deliberate and measured. His hand hovers near the saddle. A pause filled with unspoken questions and inner conflict. Hesitation flickers across his face, a battle between duty and doubt playing out in his eyes. He steels himself, resolve hardening his features as he prepares to mount the legendary steed. In the castle dungeon, the youngest son kneels on the cold stone, shadows playing across the damp walls. Above him, the executioner's axe gleams, a menacing promise in the dim light. His voice echoes in the stone chamber, a desperate plea against the inevitable. "Bring me the beautiful princess," he cries out, his words hanging in the heavy air. The dungeon awaits, the grim reality of his situation closing in around him. Under the moon's gentle light, the youngest son stands resolute before the castle's towering silhouette. The heavy castle gates creak open, breaking the silence of the night. A figure emerges, ethereal in the moonlight. The princess herself, her face a mixture of sorrow and determination, her voice soft but firm. She speaks of love and duty. "I agree to run away with you. But first, I must say goodbye to my father," the princess says, her words hanging in the still night air. Against the towering mountain, the youngest son's face is etched with despair. The task ahead impossibly daunting. A sudden blur of russet fur breaks the heavy silence. A fox, sly and quick, emerges, its eyes gleaming with cunning. The scene dissolves into a dreamlike fade. Where a mountain once stood, the fox now sits proudly, a silent testament to the impossible made real. Under the bright sun, the youngest son arrives at the kingdom, leading the princess, a magnificent horse, and a vibrant bird. They followed the fox's guidance perfectly, their triumphant return a stark contrast to their uncertain departure. The princess, radiant with newfound freedom, sits tall on the horse, her eyes fixed on the approaching castle gates. The exotic bird, perched gracefully, adds an ethereal touch to their procession, its feathers shimmering. Anticipation hangs heavy in the air as they near the kingdom, a mix of hope and trepidation in their hearts. The castle gates loom large, a symbol of challenges overcome, and a future yet to be written. By the riverbank, the youngest son stands alone, despair carving deep lines into his young face. His brothers ride away with the princess, the magical horse, and the bird. Their cruel laughter echoes back, mocking his solitude and amplifying his loss. The river reflects his anguish, a mirror to his shattered dreams. He is left with nothing but the whisper of the wind and the cold, hard ground beneath his feet. Sunlight glints off the fox's wet fur as he rescues the youngest son from the river's unforgiving currents. With cunning precision, the fox meticulously crafts a disguise, altering his appearance to blend seamlessly. The transformation complete, a surge of confidence radiates from him. He strides with purpose, his gaze fixed on the distant king's court, ready to play his part. In the royal palace's grand hall, sunlight illuminates dust motes as the youngest son bears the weight of revelation. His voice, now filled with newfound authority, echoes through the hall as he recounts his brother's treachery. The regal princess listens intently, a beacon of hope amidst the unfolding drama. A wave of relief washes over the youngest son as he is reunited with the princess. In a flash of light, the fox transforms into the princess's long-lost brother, returned at last.